CNBC-TV18.
Hello and welcome to Startup Street. I'm Arundhati Ramanan and with me is Aishwarya Anand. These are the top headlines from the startup world. Drone manufacturing IdeaForge files papers with SEBI for an initial public offering, says Money Control. If SEBI gives a go-ahead for the IPO, IdeaForge will be the first ever drone maker listed on the main board of Indian bosses. The IPO will be a combination of a fresh issue of shares of around 300 crore rupees and an OFS component.
Drone-as-a-service startup Garuda Aerospace gets $22 million in its Series A funding round, led by venture capital firm Spiti. The startup aims to sell 25,000 drones in the next 18 months and is looking to export 10,000 drones to about 100 countries in the next 15 months.
Meta delays finalizing the budgets of multiple teams as it prepares a fresh round of job cuts, the Financial Times reported. In recent weeks, there had been a lack of clarity surrounding budgets and future headcount, it added. Meta had cut more than 11,000 jobs in November.
Apple's major supplier, Salcomp, is looking to more than double its workforce in India to nearly 25,000 over the next 3 to 4 years. Reuters reported Salcomp is also building a large housing complex with entertainment and education for about 15,000 people.
Quick commerce player Blinkit is looking to expand its dark stores, targeting up to 40% increase in store count in the next 12 months. We should start seeing the net dark store number increase going forward, co-founder Albinder Dinsa said during earnings. Those were the headlines that we're tracking for you this evening. But on What's Brewing today, time is running out for cab aggregator Uber that has been operating without a license in Maharashtra. The Supreme Court has ordered the company to apply for a license before the 6th of March. The court has also directed the Maharashtra government to expedite its framework for aggregators. Ashmit Kumar is standing by with more on this. Ashmit, what are you picking up?
Well, just the context, this is with respect to Uber's operation in the state of Maharashtra. As far as those operations are concerned, the Bombay High Court had pulled up Uber and had pointed out that, look, the state of Maharashtra has not developed any rules, so there is no question of a license under Maharashtra rules. And the Bombay High Court noted that there is a sense of lawlessness because neither is Uber compliant with the central government guidelines, and that was a cause of concern. The Bombay High Court, in fact, had passed an order that in the absence of state rules, central guidelines will have to be complied with, and it is that order that got challenged by Uber before the top court. Here again, while the Supreme Court had granted a stay on any adverse action against Uber, allowing them to continue, Supreme Court today noted that it is indeed true that there is no case that has been made by Uber for continuing operations in the state of Maharashtra without a license. There is no question of allowing an aggregator without a license, and with that, the Apex Court has given a very pointed order that as far as the license itself is concerned, the state of Maharashtra, an application can be made before the state by March 6th. This application will have to be considered and a final decision will have to be made by the state by March 20th. But importantly, it's not just Uber that was in the line of sight. The Supreme Court also pulled up the state of Maharashtra, saying that they've been dithering on this issue of formalizing a legal framework, that is sending adverse, that builds uncertainty in the system for the business environment, and therefore is not required, and therefore there is an expeditious need for the state of Maharashtra to come out and to finalize that legal framework for cab aggregators. So a deadline being served for both Uber as well as for the state of Maharashtra.
Well, thank you, Ashmit, for all those details on what's happening with Uber in Maharashtra. Moving on What's Brewing, drone-as-a-service startup Garuda Aerospace has closed its Series A funding round at $22 million. The round was led by Spiti, which invested $12 million along with participation from other global investors, angel investors, and high net worth individuals at $5 million. The company had already secured a $5 million tranche in funding from an infrastructure development company, a group of angel investors from India, UAE, and Singapore. To talk about the fundraise and company's growth plans, I'm now joined by Garuda's founder and CEO, Agnishwar Jayaprakash, and my colleague, Arundhati Ramanan. Welcome to the show, Agnishwar, and congratulations on the fundraise. Now, can you tell me what's the company's post-money valuation after the $22 million round, and where do you plan on deploying the fresh capital?
Well, we are very, very happy that we have raised $22 million. This is their largest Series A fundraise in drone sector history. We've been very fortunate because despite the funding winter and very high uncertainty in the global economic and funding scenario, we're very happy that such a large ticket size, and our goal was about $30 million. But at the same time, we are still not yet done with our Series A. We still have another $8 million to go. But we are very, very satisfied. And what we're going to do now is that we're going to utilize these funds in order to ensure that a lot of technology is going to be built indigenously, especially in the software, AI, and ML aspects. That can be integrated to our drone technologies that can further create an IP and a tech mode, because we've been focusing a lot on indigenous Make in India drone capabilities. But the drones are not just hardware, it is a lot of firmware and software and intelligence that goes behind these drones as well. So that's what we are going to be doing with these funds. We're very happy that we've been able to raise. We will definitely be super valued, but I'm not chasing valuations right now. Our goal is to impact 1 billion people positively, and I'm sure the goal of the first ever Indian drone unicorn startup will be a reality very soon and very shortly.
Right. Hi, Agnishwar, Arundhati here. So you're not looking at valuations right now. You want to impact 1 billion people, and your Series A round is not done as well. You've said your business model is recession-proof. So what do the company's financial numbers look like right now? And what are your growth targets? Also, what is the split between products and services in terms of your revenues?
Ever since the drone laws were liberalized in 2021, there has been a huge impetus for indigenous Make in India drones. There has been a lot of progressive policies made by the government of India, especially by our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, in terms of ensuring that there is loans for drones, 50 to 70% subsidies on agricultural drones, which is what Garuda Aerospace has been focusing on. So we would foresee anywhere between 55 to 60% of our revenue coming in from drone manufacturing, especially in the agri-drone sector. And the rest of the money will be coming in from a lot of services and precision services that we're offering to both industrial as well as the defense segments. We have been quite fortunate to have been associated with several big names, including the likes of Lockheed Martin, Elbit Systems, Tata Rallis, Cognizant Technologies, who have helped us to and supported us with a lot of amazing technologies that has gone into integration into our drones, and that has made our drones much more smarter, more user-friendly, and we're also focusing on ensuring that these advanced drone technologies is made affordable in rural India. So that's where the whole services angle comes in. Garuda has always been very passionate about training youngsters all across India, especially in rural India. And we're continuing to do that. And we're very happy that this fundraise of 22 million will enable us and give us the bandwidth and the runway to ensure that there are a lot more technology tie-ups and partnerships that will create a huge disruption in several multi-billion-dollar segments in India.
Now, Agnishwar, IdeaForge, which is another player in the drone manufacturing space, has today filed its papers for the IPO. Have you set any timeline for the IPO, and how are you approaching the idea of going public?
I think that it's a very welcome sign that a lot of companies are going public, especially in the drone space. You know, the lens in which drones were viewed historically and compared to now, we are definitely seeing a huge difference. And that is why you're seeing large Series A investments coming into the sector. We feel that there's going to be a lot more companies raising funds, and there is going to be a lot of IPOs in the next couple of years. But our focus is by 2024, latest by 2025, we'll definitely go public. But before then, what we wanted to do was cement market dominance in India, ensure that we have over 1,000 crores in terms of revenue, and also expand globally to 100 countries. That has been our goal, and we feel that we will definitely be able to achieve them with the new investors that we have. They're very progressive in their mindset. We also have amazing advisors who are guiding us, and I think you all know that Mahendra Singh Dhoni is our brand ambassador and also our shareholder. So that's very exciting times for us, and especially in the IPL, we're going to be launching our new ads. We're very excited about them, and we're certain that we're going to go public by 2024.
All right, so go public by 2024. We're running out of time, so if we could quickly tell us, can you give us a sense of what your fleet size is currently, and take us through your deployment rate, and by how much are you planning to expand that?
Absolutely. We currently have the largest drone fleet in the country because we have a very large services segment of about 400 drones spread across 26 different cities. We've served major clients like Tata, Godrej, Adani, Reliance, L&T, Jindals. We've been using drones and ensuring that there are a lot of probes, sensors, magnetometers, high-powered sprayers, and cameras that are embedded onto the drones to ensure that our clients have increased efficiency and reduction in expenses. But moreover, we are disrupting a $3 billion precision agri market. That is why a lot of investors are seeing tremendous value. They're doing it in an intelligent and a smart way.
Right.
And we feel that going forward, we're going to be using our funds in a very smart and a strategic way.
Okay.
We've never used investor funds to burn cash ever in the past. Garuda is already a profitable company. So what we are intending to do is stay unit economic focused,
Right.
profitable, market agnostic, and recession proof. That has been the success of Garuda Aerospace in the past, and it will do so in the future as well. And I believe that the game of drones has just begun, and Garuda Aerospace will definitely ensure that it will become the first ever drone unicorn startup by 2024.
All right, Agnishwar, we're completely out of time, but thank you so much for joining us on the show, and we wish you all the best for that target that you've set yourself.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
On that note, it is time for us to head into a short break. But coming up next, Tredence announced its second and largest ESOP buyback program worth $30 million. What's the rationale behind this and what's the company's growth blueprint? We find out on the other side. Stay tuned. Welcome back. You're still with us on Startup Street. Now, data science and analytics firm Tredence has announced its second and largest ESOP buyback program worth $30 million. This comes on the heels of its $175 million Series B fundraise. The buyback will include over 270 employees globally. Eligible employees will participate in the repurchase and liquidate 40% of their vested ESOP units. Now, the Advent-backed startup will buy back shares from its employees at a premium of nearly 5 times the book price. And joining me now to discuss the company's ESOP program and the growth blueprint is Shubh Bhaumik, the co-founder and CEO of Tredence, and my colleague Aishwarya. Shubh, thank you so much for joining us on the show today. So you've decided to reward your employees via a $30 million ESOP buyback program. Talk to us about the eligibility criteria and the rationale behind this move.
Arundhati. So this is an option. They don't have to participate, but it's an option for our employees. They can exercise up to 40% of whatever they have vested. So I think let me take a step back and start with why we are doing this, right? So as an organization, we have always believed in transparency. We've always believed in empowering our people, making them partners in the risk-reward framework, and this ESOP program enables us to tie incentives with that framework. So who do we award these ESOPs to? Our earliest employees who took most amount of risk and joined an unproven company. Also, other folks who have joined us over the years and have had a disproportionate impact in our success and have been rewarded. They also have been rewarded by options. Now, there's a bit of a challenge though in our industry, Arundhati, which is there is a lack of trust sometimes regarding the value of the ESOPs, right? And why is that? I think there is sometimes a lack of transparency. Things are done informally, expectations are set informally, and it's not tracked very well in the system. Also, there's a lot of hype, sometimes about the actual value of the option, which doesn't play out in reality. And lack of liquidity, obviously, is also another problem because these are private options, right? So these issues, these problems causes trust issues. So the reason we are doing this buyback is basically to ensure that we don't fall into the same trap, right? So we have always maintained 100% transparency. Our option holders know how the value was calculated, the number of outstanding options, etc. Everything is tracked in a platform called Carta, so they know how much that they have vested, etc. at any given point in time individually, right? So they can log into the system and know what's going on. By the way, there is no discount.
Absolutely. No, Shubh, I also want to understand from you that the ESOP buyback comes on the heels of $175 million Series B fundraise, right? And it's the second ESOP buyback within 2 months. So how are you using the capital from the fundraise? And you were looking to foray into insurance and healthcare verticals as well. Where do you stand on that front?
So it's, let me correct you there. So it's not the second ESOP buyback in 2 months. 2 months back, we actually did the fundraise. We are now using a portion of the fund that we raised to do the ESOP buyback. The last time we did this was early 2021, so about 2 years back. By the way, back then the value of the ESOP was, so since then the value of the ESOP has grown by 5 times. So if we were able to do X back then, now we are able to pay 5X of that value. But yeah, it's not in 2 months. Can you repeat your second question again?
I just wanted to check with you that, you were looking to foray into the insurance and the healthcare vertical. So where do you stand on that front?
Sure. Yeah, we are getting started. We are, aggressively starting to, speak with certain customers. We are building the pipeline, the funnel for those verticals. Similarly, in healthcare, we are very close to hiring, I think, a very exceptional leader who will take charge of that vertical. So work is on. It's still, I would say, a few things are still, to be officially announced. So just, we should be officially kind of launching the leaders who will take charge of those verticals very, very soon.
All right, Dhruv, thank you so much for joining us today, and we wish you the very best of luck with all your future plans.
Much. Thank you.
Coming up, Audible India gets Marvel's Wastelanders to the country. A special conversation coming up next.
Welcome back. You're watching Startup Street. Creator and provider of premium audio storytelling, Audible, gets podcast series Marvel's Wastelanders to India. Based on the popular English series, the new Hindi adaptation will feature many Indian actors in the roles of Marvel superheroes. While Kareena Kapoor will feature as Black Widow, Saif Ali Khan will be the Star-Lord in the audio series. The 10-episode scripted podcast will be available at no additional cost to all Audible members. Our colleague Ritu Singh caught up with Shailesh Solani and Karen Appathurai Wiggins of Audible to talk about the collaboration and more. Take a look.
Yes, it's a very exciting time for us in India, especially for local content. This is the first ever collaboration that Marvel has done with Audible, and we're super excited that we're able to bring the Marvel's Wastelanders series to India, but not only just bringing it to India, bringing it in local language as well. Yes, you're right, we've been able to bring in some amazing cast of artists from India to play our characters. We've got Saif as Star-Lord, we've got Kareena Kapoor as Black Widow. Never thought we'd see them again, performing together again, but here we are.
New market, right? I mean, when you started here 4 years ago, for instance, how big was the listenership? How popular were audio books, and how has the trajectory been in these past 4 years? How much have you been able to grow your business?
Yeah, so I can talk about it in terms of Audible first, and then looking at the broader landscape. So when we launched in November 2018, we just completed 4 years. India was already very quickly one of the fastest growing marketplaces for Audible ever. If you look at X many number of years in, we were one of the fastest growing marketplaces for Audible. And that's even for our paid subscription offering. So just to give you a sense and a sense of the growth, in 2022, we had a 40% increase in paid member listening hours. So that gives you a sense of just our paid subscription as well. But of course, we also have a free offering with lots of hundreds of titles of free content as well, which are helping expose new people and help them discover Audible for the first time. And as they come in, they discover and they get habituated, then they decide to take a subscription as well.
How many customers would Audible have, out of which you said 40% are paying customers?
No, so we had 40% increase in our paid member listening hours just in 2022. But to give you a sense in the broader audio landscape, in the audiobook and podcast landscape specifically, there's research that says that there was only about 4 million listeners in 2016. That's gone up to 90 million in 2022. So that's in the broader landscape, of course. But of course, we're very proud of the contribution that we've had in actually, helping create this category from the very bottom up in India.
All right. So, what's the market share now? Where have you gone in the last 4 years?
We're just at the start. We're just at the start of this audio revolution. The relative position is less of focus. I think it's about how we stay very focused on the customers.
So how many of your customers are paying again?
We don't share data about our individual marketplaces, but what I can say that, from just looking at last year, seeing a growth of 40% in just paid listening hours alone.
On a smaller base, though.
Yeah.
On a smaller base, the
we've been doing it for
growth.
4 years, and like I said, if you compare how we've done versus the other marketplaces, 4 years in, India has been on the fastest, right? So you look at the kind of marketplaces that we have been in, right? Those are marketplaces that have been well accustomed to digital subscriptions and paying for content. So to think that customers are actually doing that and taking the leap in India and paying for our service has been really encouraging. Which is why we've been encouraged to actually proceed with some of our plans, like investment in these collaborations, which is what we're doing today.
So speaking of collaborations, and Karen, if you take that, so Marvel is one of the ones that we've seen. We've seen interesting collaborations in the past, but what's in the pipeline now? What's in store for Audible listeners in India in future?
Yeah, we've got some incredibly exciting collaborations coming up, some of which we're going to be revealing in the coming days at Comic-Con.
But give us a hint, give us a sense.
Sure. Well, we have a very exciting collaboration with author Amish Tripathi, which is coming up later this year.
For his Naga, the book series?
Actually, it's something a little outside that, so it'll be exclusive to Audible. So that's a really exciting opportunity for our customers. That's right. Well, it's an audio experience. Let's just call it that.
All right.
We've got an incredible opportunity that we've got coming up to announce at Comic-Con in the next couple of days with Chetan Bhagat. Again, another exclusive opportunity for Audible customers. And there's a few more other exciting opportunities coming up later in the year. I wish I could tell you more. I guess it's just a matter of watch this space. But we are really committed to investing in the local talent here and local stories, and we'll continue to do.
So if I were to ask you, say 5 years down the line, what is the vision for Audible, its business in India, the outlook, what kind of increase in listenership you're looking at, what kind of increase in revenues you're eyeing?
So I think we're, if we look 5 years down the line and we look at what success would look like down the road, for sure, I think we would want to be in a position where we've got tier 2 and tier 3 or listeners from tier 2 and tier 3 cities to actually have adopted Audible in the same way that we've seen, in the metros and with the English and Hindi speaking audiences. We would like to see that in all the regional languages as well, and that I think we would have cracked both, India as well as Bharat.
And how many regional languages are you currently available in? How many more do you plan to add?
We have content obviously in English. We have a comprehensive offering in English
Hindi.
and in Hindi. We also have content in Tamil, in Bengali, in Urdu, and in some other languages. Of course, we're still building that.
And with that, it is a wrap on this edition of Startup Street. More news and updates coming up on the other side. Stay tuned.